What's up, guys? Me again. Haven't seen you guys in a long time. My bad. Just been busy. What can I say? But revamping Project Faith. Hope you guys are interested. If you guys don't know in the beginning, pretty much all it is me talking about God, positive messages, just keeping it real. And I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope that you guys can understand what I'm saying. And um, it's just needs to be done. Hasn't been done for a long time. Um, so, like I said, we're starting with Project Faith. Basically, I like to break it down. Faith is such a strong concept with you guys, with anybody on this planet, because it can do anything with your life. It can change your life for the better, or if you don't have faith, maybe sometimes it can take it for the worse. You know, some people who don't have faith can have good lives, but where does that leave you internally? You know what I'm saying? I just follow that guy. What can I say? Um, Now, the way I broke it down with the acronym is following allegiance, ideally through Him. Faith. That's what it's all about. You gotta follow God. That's pretty much all it boils down to. You have an allegiance, and hopefully it's ideally through Him, because it's not just towards Him. It's through Jesus Christ. Understand, God gives us the opportunity to believe, but it boils down to what we want to choose to see. We control our lives in the sense that God may put doors in front of us to see what we want. I stand by what I say. With God, it's a relationship between you and Him. Nothing else, no one else. You have to. Sometimes even you have to push other people away to make that relationship work. And unfortunately, maybe other people won't understand that. Maybe they'll be confused about that. But you know what? You gotta do you. And to those who don't understand, it sucks, I know, but it's about letting that person do what's right. And you know what it also goes towards is we control our lives in the sense that God puts doors to see if we want Him, because that is part of the relationship. Obviously, I can communicate with God differently than I communicate with my friends or my family or anything like that, because it's God. It's God. The one thing we look up to the sky and say if He's real or not. And see, that's another reason why people find it so hard to believe God anyways, because they can't physically see Him. And if they say, oh well, how can I love God or love someone when that person's not even here? You may say that, and I understand where you're coming from, but it comes from here. It's all about those miracles. You know. But then the question is, do you need to see that person performing the miracles or that love in your life to believe that it's real? 1 second. Just making sure I got some music. Yeah, there we go. Just overall though, there's a reason why you see Him in your eyes and not anybody else's eyes. Is because it's that deep of a relationship. God gave us this choice, gave us this opportunity to find Him, whether it's through the good or even the bad. You know, they even said, like, okay, if you guys like movies, watch the movie Book of Eli, Denzel Washington. You guys will like it. He says it himself, walk by faith and not by sight. But the miracles will only happen by Him is if you let Him into your life, if you accept Him. It's all about the power of choice. And whether you can take the opportunity or not, understand God will always be there for you. Always. But will you be there for Him? Will you allow Him to be there? Now to start off, now that's just basically the summarization of what I've thought about faith at the time I wrote this. So we're going to continue with the word following, begin the F word in faith. Now Definition of this is the accept the guidance, command, or leadership to carry to completion, follow through on. Sometimes with following God can be some of the hardest things that we accomplish and might show us the difficult times in our lives. What we as followers of Christ have to understand is that we can't just follow halfway. It's like when you're doing a job, you can't do it just half done. No, you have to completely put your entire faith into it. With God, yeah, it's, a lot of people don't want to do that because it makes them feel uncomfortable. It's like a risky bet. But you know what? You gotta take that leap of faith. See what it is? Take that leap of faith and put it towards God. We as followers of Christ treat this whole faith thing, as you could say, as a relationship every day. In Luke 5:11 and verses 20 and 29, it talks about how you want to make sure that you follow with all of your heart by leaving things behind you, the bad things that will deter you from God. God is nothing but good, but unfortunately with some of the times that we needed God most and it seemed like He wasn't there, so we just took things in our own hands, we view God as a hate. As human beings in this world, when really God is nothing but love and caring and supportive and understanding and gracious beyond belief. It's like, how can you swim upwards if you're the one who's holding the ball and chain? You can't. We want to make sure that, in a sense, we follow the leader, because when we follow, we trust, and when we trust, we have loyalty. And when we have loyalty, you my good friends, have faith. But don't get the idea that faith is an equation, because all it becomes down to is what you make of it. Faith when with God, it just doesn't happen overnight. No. The day that you quit, drinking, for example, and you want to become someone different, you want to be, that day you want to stop drinking, it just comes down to, are you going to be able to do that? Are you going to be able to handle that? Are you going to be able to say that, God, I'm not going to have this anymore? Well, at that point, you're going to be a drinking Christian. But through that walk, you realize that alcohol is not worth it. You realize that, in a sense, you can take that away and realize that's only going to hold you back from the relationship you have with God. Now a lot of people say, oh, well, back in the old days, they used to drink all the time. I mean, yeah, but really, let's honestly think about that. With alcohol, you can usually make bad decision making and mistakes that you can hold regret towards yourself for the rest of your life. So why do that to yourself? Why deter yourself from God? And what I like to say is, you gotta make the most out of it with God in your life. For example, every day you wake up and in a bank account you are given $86,400 deposited in your account, and you're allowed to do anything with it. Wouldn't you use that money and you make the most out of it? Of course. Same thing with every day. God gives you every day deposited in your bank account, in that trust bank you have with God. He puts it in there, and you have the opportunity to do anything you want with it. But also understand where it's coming from. It comes from God. So, what does that mean? It means that you want to make sure you use that money for something good, something better. It's like every day, do you honestly want to live backwards in your life? No. So you got to drop the pieces and move forward with what God gives you. When following within your faith, You are given day by day to make the most of it. Make sure also when you follow, stand strong with it. Sometimes through when people follow, we all become weak at points in our life. Your body's like a car. More importantly, like a machine, but your entire body, physically, your mentality, emotionally, your heart, your soul, you have to keep maintenance on your body, like you do with a car. You know, and then especially what you put out there verbally is like the exhaust fumes. Are you really gonna say bad things? Your emotions, how you express that, are you really gonna express bad things? I'll tell you something, I am guilty of that. When I'm mad, I'm just frustrated. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to deal with anybody. But that's not right. And the question that I would use to defend that, or go against that, I should say, against that anger, would just be like, WWJD, what would Jesus do? You can't let that control you. When you drive, eventually you lead yourself into something that either you want or to a place like a junkyard. Because life happens to us sometimes when we don't expect it. But it is what it is. But be ready when it comes to following in life. God may have a plan in your life to start leading. By leading you prosper in your walk with God, but more importantly, you let others in your life that others may not be able to reach. Basically what I'm trying to say is, I'm able to reach out to someone that someone else won't be able to. You have that opportunity to be able to do that. You have the opportunity to teach someone about God that they may never understand or know because no one's willing to teach them about that. You know, you gotta understand, it's not all about living for you, it's about living for God. And if God sees that some people may need help, when I say we realize God by miracles and actions, those actions are caused by people in this world. God uses people in today to show himself in ways that other people may not even be able to comprehend. Sometimes you may not be able to understand God, and maybe sometimes God will never understand us, but it's a matter of being able to love that person. I just want to be real with you guys for a second, you know. I feel like lately I haven't been faithful towards God. Of course, I haven't really been happy with, you know, how things sometimes turn out. But I think the problem is that in today's society, we are so used and so conditioned to getting things right away that sometimes we realize and we forget how much something is worth when you work for it. And that's what it's all about, y'all, is being able to work hard with, you know, something or someone to make things work out even for the better. You know, in a sense, it's easier to raise strong children than to fix broken men. You want to make sure you have a strong foundation. And all that is patience. Patience is so key. Yet today's day, because we don't usually have to wait for anything, we don't understand the value of even patience itself. When you follow God, you have to have the patience. He knows where you gotta go. But are you gonna go that way, or are you gonna go your own way? Which could be okay. I'll admit it. It could be okay. But is it gonna be best for you? Probably not. Probably not as good as what God can probably offer. Now, will people probably argue this? Yeah. Will people say you're wrong? Probably. They're entitled to that. Just as much as you are, though, entitled to believing in God. So don't let that go. Um, if you guys really like the music too that I've been using, it's Miracle by Shinedown. This is not my music, not my sound, whatever. So, um, just wanted to put that out there. But you know what? I'm glad to be able to do this again. I am privileged to talk to you guys this way. I hope everybody likes the video, and I hope everybody checks it out. Thank you, and good night.